Imagine a small town in Germany. It's summer. The sun sparkles on Lake Constance. Now, fill this picturesque scene with some of the biggest brains in science. This is the Lindau Nobel Laureate meeting. In the summer of 2025, over 600 young scientists from all over the world gathered here. They came to meet the legends, the Nobel Prize winners in chemistry. It is an amazing thing to consider. For a few days, the future of science and its celebrated past walked the same cobblestone streets. It was a place buzzing with energy, ideas, and the quiet hum of possibility. Of course, it is tempting to see such an event as a chance for a great photo. Who wouldn't want a selfie with a Nobel laureate? It's a story to tell your friends and family for years. But the real magic of Lindau goes far beyond a simple picture. The event's motto was educate, inspire, connect. And that is exactly what happened. It was about conversations that started over coffee and continued for hours. It was about a young student from one country sharing a problem with a seasoned expert from another and finding a surprising solution together. This was not about collecting autographs, it was about collecting ideas and friendships. The true value was in the dialogue. Imagine a young graduate student, perhaps someone like Beth Ryan from Cornell University. She works on editing the tiny building blocks of our cells using light. Suddenly, she is talking to someone who won the Nobel Prize for a discovery that changed the world. The older scientist listens, asks questions, and offers a piece of advice that unlocks a whole new way of thinking. This is not a lecture, it is a partnership. The experienced mind provides wisdom, and the young mind brings fresh energy and a different perspective. It is in this exchange that science truly moves forward. This kind of connection is priceless. The Nobel winners were not there just to talk about their past glories. They were there to listen. They were there to help the next generation navigate the tricky path of a scientific career. They shared stories of their own failures, their doubts, and the lucky breaks that led to their greatest achievements. For the young scientists, this was incredibly reassuring. It showed them that even the greatest thinkers were once just like them, full of questions, facing uncertainty, and driven by a powerful curiosity about how the world works. Lindau created a space where science became wonderfully, inspiringly human. Science has always been a global adventure. An idea born in a lab in Japan can spark a breakthrough in Brazil. But today, working together is not just a good idea. It is absolutely necessary. We face problems so big, they make the whole world seem small. Think about climate change. The oceans do not care about our borders. The atmosphere does not stop for a passport check. To solve a challenge this huge, we need every brilliant mind we can find, working as one team. We need chemists in Germany creating sustainable plastics and engineers in India designing better batteries. The same is true for our health. Diseases can travel the globe faster than ever before. We all remember the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a frightening time, but it also showed us something amazing. Scientists from every corner of the planet dropped what they were doing and focused on one problem. They shared data, they shared results, they worked day and night. It was not a perfect system, but it was powerful. In record time, we had tests, treatments, and vaccines. This massive worldwide effort saved countless lives. It is a stunning example of what we can achieve when we forget about competition and focus on cooperation. At meetings like Lindau, this spirit of teamwork is front and center. The discussions were not just about abstract theories. They were about real-world problems. How can we make chemistry greener? How can we use artificial intelligence to discover new medicines faster? These are not questions for one person or one country to answer alone. They require a global network of smart, dedicated people sharing their knowledge. The Lindau meeting itself becomes a model. It shows us how to build these networks, creating durable bonds that last long after everyone has gone home. These collaborations are built on trust and open communication. They are built in moments when a scientist from a wealthy nation helps a colleague from a developing country secure a research grant. They are built when researchers share their failures as openly as their successes, so others do not have to make the same mistakes. We need to create more spaces like Lindau, both online and in person. We need places where scientists, young and old, can meet, talk, and dream together. Because the world's biggest challenges are not going to wait for us to figure things out on our own. For the young scientists who attended Lindau, the meeting was just the beginning. They were given a special responsibility. They were asked to become ambassadors for science. This is a very important job. In a world filled with confusing information and outright falsehoods, we need people who can explain science clearly and honestly. These young researchers must go back to their communities and share what they know. They need to talk in schools, at community centers, and online. They must help everyone understand why science matters and how it works. They must fight misinformation with facts and patience. Part of this mission is to inspire the next generation. A young scientist visiting a classroom can have a huge impact. They can show students that science is not just about old men in white coats. It is a creative, exciting, and diverse field open to everyone. By mentoring younger students, they pass on the spark of curiosity that was given to them. They can help a child see that their love of asking why could one day lead them to discover a cure for a disease or a new source of clean energy. This chain of inspiration is what keeps science alive and moving forward. Of course, young scientists cannot do this alone. They need support from those who have come before them. The call at Lindau was clear: senior scientists must step up. It is not enough to simply offer words of encouragement. They must provide real, concrete help. This means co-authoring papers with their junior colleagues to help build their reputations. It means helping them write grant proposals and nominating them for awards and conferences. It means listening to their ideas with respect and giving them the freedom to explore their own paths, even if it means making a few mistakes along the way. This relationship is a two-way street. The senior scientist offers guidance and opens doors. The junior scientist brings new tools, fresh questions, and a relentless energy. As Nobel laureate Frances Arnold said, "When the freedom of science is threatened, we cannot stay silent." This applies to everything, from funding cuts to a lack of support for young researchers. The entire scientific community, young and old together, must advocate for the resources and freedom that science needs to thrive. It is a partnership where everyone has a role to play in protecting and nurturing the future of discovery. In the end, what is science for? It is easy to get lost in the details of an experiment or the quest for a prestigious prize. It is easy to think of science as a race where the goal is to be first. But the Lindau meeting reminded everyone of a deeper purpose. The real point of science is not personal glory, it is collective progress. It is about using our shared knowledge to build a better, fairer, and healthier world for every single person. It is a moral commitment to leave this planet a little better than we found it. This requires a shift in how we think about success. We need to celebrate collaboration as much as we celebrate individual breakthroughs. We need to value the quiet, steady work of a team as much as the headline-grabbing discovery of a lone genius. Science is at its best when it is humble, when it admits what it does not yet know, and when it works in the service of others. The goal is to advance human understanding and improve human life. Everything else, the awards, the recognition, the titles, is secondary to that fundamental promise. The spirit of Lindau is one of hope. It is the belief that by working together, we can solve the most difficult problems imaginable. We can clean our air and water. We can find cures for devastating diseases. We can ensure that everyone has enough food to eat and enough energy to power their lives. These are not small dreams. They are huge, audacious goals. But science, at its core, has always been about taking on the impossible and, through patience and ingenuity, making it possible. It is about looking at the world with wonder and refusing to accept that things cannot be improved. So, let us keep that spirit alive. Let us encourage our scientists, support our researchers, and teach our children to love the endless adventure of discovery. Whether you are a Nobel laureate with a lifetime of experience or a young student just starting your journey, you have a part to play. The work is not easy, and the challenges are great. But the reward is the greatest one of all. The chance to contribute to the long, incredible story of human progress, and to build a more just and sustainable world for all the generations that will follow.